Welcome to Lander Bet Sports Betting Live Show. Kicking it with my guy Ty, returning the favor. Much appreciated. We did your stream a couple of days ago. How you feeling today, man?
I am feeling mediocre, I'll say. Mediocre, and I'm saying that because I've been looking at the board for a decent chunk of my day and have one official play, and I think that the lines are just like good today. So that does not make me happy.
Yeah, man. How was yesterday for you? 12 games in the NBA.
Brutal, which is also probably playing into it a little bit. I think I went 2-5. Lost a little over 3 units. So kind of got crushed. And, the day after that happens, you're kind of like looking at stuff like, I like it, but I don't know if it's going to win,
Yeah. Daft is calling us out for just being unaroused today by this slate. But I think that's why I asked you the question, how was yesterday? Because I knew the answer. My bad for setting you up like that. I did worse than you to make you feel better. Lost a couple extra units on top of that yesterday. I feel like I found some plays that I know I messed up. We're gonna get into picks. There's 3 games, so like if y'all will just bear with me for like a minute. These are the bets that I made yesterday where I know exactly where I went wrong, and I had a couple of different conversations today with some people about like what I did wrong with a couple of things, and a couple of them was just like this number. For instance, AJ Mitchell, just taking him for an example, 16.5 points is good. Like he's been getting over that with consistency. His shot attempts are at like 15, 31 minutes. But like, do we really? So are we just making him like an 18-a-night game guy? And in addition to that, did you really think the Lakers had enough to hang with the Thunder when you just watched them body the Dubs the night before? And I personally think the Dubs are better than the Lakers, especially without LeBron. So like there was just a couple extra steps to just being like, look, man, I know there's 12 games and you want to play every bet in the world right now. But like some of this stuff has to be anchored to like, is this a good number or not a good number? And 16.5 points wasn't a great number. It was like, it's still a 50-50 gamble when you add in all the other things pushing that number where it is, like in terms of the Lakers opponent, the blowout, whatever. Right. So just a couple of things like that where I'm like, you know what, dude, like there's room for improvement. But we were also talking about how they're just like getting sharper with a few things. And I think we just at least got to admit that like there's some things that they're sharpening up, like this guy's out, this guy comes in, and this is the right guy to raise his lines and blah, blah, blah. And we don't quite have that same edge this year. But is that kind of what you're finding? You're actually doing really well. I want to let you at least brag about that too.
I'm doing okay, I think. I think that honestly, like when I started off the year good though, like I wasn't even really happy with my bets. Like I think I was just like on the right side of shooting splits, to be honest. Gotcha. And now I kind of feel like I am making decent bets, but I'm on the wrong side. I think that like one thing that I've learned about just like betting this year is that like genuinely the lines, like you said, the lines are getting sharper, man. Like if we look at, for example, right now, you can see Donovan Mitchell's at 26.5. There's no Garland, there's no Lonzo. He's probably going to play like a ton of point guard, have the ball in his hands a ton. He's averaging 30.4 points per game, but like the Raptors are very aggressive against top options, especially ones that, guards that have the ball in their hands a ton. And it's just like I swear, man, like last year, this line would be sitting at 28.5. It wouldn't be factoring in like that they are aggressive against top options. And now it's just like, I feel like everything's just baked in.
Yeah, you're saying like this 26.5 number, despite Donnie averaging 4 more points a game than that, tells you that what they're taking into consideration, it might be this matchup a lot more too, right? There could also be like maybe, and this is conjecture because I don't have any intel on that, but like the intel that like the Cavs plan on sitting guys, so maybe they got the cup game, whatever, like they just got blown out by Miami, then won with their backups. It's all sort of all over the place, and I think that's also helping keep it low. Maybe some people hit it already as well, right? This is just a crowded market, but let's start talking about some bets. I mean, we're gonna get to all this stuff anyway, but. Daft, I want your bets, not like the horny things that make you horny about betting, dude. But we're gonna go through the comments too, and I like that we add this. I know we've been kind of trashing StreamYard here and there. Give StreamYard their dues. That like they got the little chat stuff in the bottom right now, which I like. So we can see all your stuff, and I don't have to like be picking up people's things, which is great. So all right, let's. I think there was a couple people that threw stuff in here. Let me let you start off. I don't even care about going in order by game at all. So like, just if you have something that you wanted to start off with, happy to let you do that. We'll go through the comments. We'll be all over the place.
Yep. So let's start off on the Cavs, man, because like I said, I have one play and it moved. It was like an injury related news. And it was also Iguodala over 3.5 rebounds at a little bit of plus money actually. Mark, it's a back-to-back, and Mark Williams like doesn't play back-to-backs. So I got in on that. I don't like it at 4.5 anymore. I'm just happy that market actually sat.
You're talking about the Suns though, right?
Yeah, that's just the play I had. Just
so that was the one. Oh, that was the play that you actually have. So you do want to make clear that you were with Oso, and then it totally moved in the was it the boards?
Yep.
Okay, my bad. I just wanted to track you. So it's 4.5 now.
Yep. No,
okay, I got you. Okay. Would you take that in case anybody asked about the 4.5?
I wouldn't. No.
Okay. Thank you for your honesty. Good call.
Yeah. But Evan Mobley is probably my strongest lean. I'm a big fan of his overs tonight. The Raptors are not great at paint defense. They are allowing the third most points in the restricted area. Overall, 20th most points in the paint. I think that DeAndre Hunter and Jarrett Allen, I personally wouldn't really touch overs. I know you can obviously make the case that it's a good matchup for Allen too.
Sure.
But they played last night on the back-to-back. They only played 28 minutes. Jared only played 27 minutes. I kind of think we see the same for them. I think that we see them get their minutes a little bit monitored.
Interesting.
But like I mentioned with Mitchell, I don't think it's a good matchup for Mitchell. I mean, second fewest above the break threes allowed, third fewest points to the pick and roll handler. I don't know, man. If they're going to be blitzing Mitchell, it's going to be very tough to, have someone in position to stop Mobley down low. So I think that it's going to be a pretty good Mobley game here. And 19.5, I like, and I wish that the PA was still at 23.5, but that moved. So I think 19.5 points is my strongest.
Yeah. If you've been, I think this is the other thing, man, is maybe there's just more smart people. I don't know, but a really intelligent way to play Evan Mobley has been, if you notice what happens when Darius Garland's not around, his assists go way up. His touches were actually higher than Donovan Mitchell's at one point for a 3-game stretch when they were both playing. He still out-touched Donnie. And then, the assists were still at 3.5. So people were just well, this 3.5 numbers, I'm hitting that over when I see Evan Mobley without Garland. And that's probably what happened here too, right? It was just 3.5. Great. I'll just blindly hit that with Evan Mobley without, because based on the touches and the potential assists and all that stuff. So I agree with you. And the points, I think that's a good look. And that is why I also just made me start to look at Donnie on the dimes. And I think that's another thing. It's this might have been something that we could have used this game theory to go, Evan Mobley's not going to necessarily get the dimes that much, but he is looking good to score down low against this boo-boo down low defense for the Raptors, right? Well, if Donnie's going to get ball pressured the way you just said, and you were looking for his under on the points, it would lead you to go, maybe he'll get the over on the dimes. It's 6.5. He's expected to get 7 dimes against this Raptors squad that is 15th in assists allowed. That's not anything to poo-poo. It's the middle of the league. So where is the edge? I guess at this point we're saying we can take unders, and that's going to be the better play in a lot of these situations. Just pivot then, right?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. And honestly, I think that Mitchell's assists are way too high. I think that seems like a pretty good underlook, to be honest. I mean,
right.
Even without Garland, if you look at the past 2 years,
right,
he's 0 for 7 this year. Last year he was 8 of 9 to the under. So
5.9. How many games are we talking here? I was Garland's missed more than 24 the last 2 years. All right, so Garland's missed 35. He's gone over 6.5 assists 11 times. Why would that? What? Yeah, the 6.5 number is actually screaming for the under. Maybe it's just bro, you just got to hit your unders, take your vegetables until maybe things even out to find the edge to the over. Because obviously the big money is won when you can do daft parlay science stuff where you put it all together and you get some big payouts that way. But the unders don't do that for you. You just got to kind of do that one at a time if you want. I do think now I'm just well, okay, this is ridiculous that it's 6.5. And I think you just play that number under because of the number, like we keep saying. So I do like that. I'm actually even writing it down for myself real quick for the Donnie under on the dimes here. I have one look in this game too, real quick, that I'll bring up. Did you have anything else real quick from this one before I step in?
I want to just add a little bit more to the Mitchell dime. So sure. On Props Madness, if you want to scroll down a little bit, a lot of the very similar players to Donovan Mitchell, the high usage guards have actually kind of been going under a fair bit.
There's one
against them. So I think that's a good little tidbit. But also getting blitzed isn't necessarily really good for potential assists, right? Because it's gonna end up in hockey assists, right? Because it's you commit to, you're not gonna leave the initial guy open, right? The guys are gonna rotate over. So I think a lot of people have that have a misconception there sometimes that getting blitzed is just gonna equal more scoring, and I think that's not always the case. So
I fully agree. Let's look at props match before I do this though. The 25-25 this year, looking at the defense for Toronto, 11th limiting guards according to the position, right? So like, yeah, I would still say even though they're blitzing a guard, and it would be more helpful if there was an archetype that was like primary ball handler, for instance, right? And then you could look at primaries, but like you could even do it. This is not the most like concrete data to use, but like if you do look at FanDuel's like defense versus position kind of stuff, it's at least somewhat of like a gauge. And if you look at points to the point guard, I figure Toronto would be a little bit better than that. Yeah, they're still like top 11, whatever, right? And then if you look at the dimes, they're second limiting point guard dimes, specifically point guard, whatever you make Donovan. I think you have to call him primary ball handler, so point guard, whatever. But to your point here, like, yeah, maybe it's like shooting guard assists or like small forward assists are pretty high against this team. Yeah, right here, like shooting guard would be the off ball guard. This is the dude getting the dimes for the opponents against Toronto, because to your point, like Donnie gets blitzed or the point guard gets blitzed, he passes to a dude who's now wide open, has the choice to shoot or go against an unbalanced defense, right?
Yep, against a tilted defense. And if you can beat that tilted defense, you're going to be gravy. And that's why I do like the spot for Hunter, honestly, because he's going to be the one going up against a tilted defense. But like I said, 18.5 feels kind of sturdy, and he did play that back-to-back last night.
Yeah. So. It is sturdy. I was looking at his PRA pretty consistently when he was playing without Garland, but there was also some games without Donnie in there. The look that I like here that I need to give out, I've been really so freaking buried that like I still didn't even get the plays out to my guys. So I might even just like ask you to take over 2 seconds so I can just send this stuff out for real quick. But if you're on the stream and you're not in the Land Your Bets VIP and all that kind of stuff, then you're getting this before them. So don't tell them. And if you are on the stream and you're following me, I'm sorry, I'll send it out. But anyway, Sam Merrill, dude, I think he's going to get 15 in this game. I think you do take him for like a little bit alt as well. No Lonzo, no Jalen Tyson, no Darius Garland. That's who like, right? Like I know Evan Mobley, DeAndre Hunter can handle the ball. They'll be fine. This is the dude I think that is the outlet when Evan Mobley gets the pass from Donnie, right? Evan Mobley goes a screen for Donovan Mitchell, then he rolls or pops. Donnie has to pass it to him because both these guys are staying on Donovan Mitchell to not let him shoot and not let him drive. Now Evan Mobley has the option to drive and kick to Sam Merrill, or he has the option to drive and go all the way to the hoop. And I think, whether it's him or Hunter, whomever, somebody's going to absorb some assist to Merrill in that sense. And just the straight volume for him will get him to at least the 10.5. But that's my favorite one for the Cavs in this one.
That's actually a really good look. I didn't really think too much about Sam Merrill. I think, are you going to do points or points and assists?
I'm just going to do points. I don't think he's going to be the guy that's like left with the decision to make the player shoot,
Yeah. Like he'll be like in the corner. It'll probably be Hunter. Yep. Okay. Yeah. No, I do like that. I think that makes sense too. It's right. It's like it's a non-Donovan Mitchell player. I mean, they're very, very short on guards. I think it's just like Tyrese Proctor and maybe Craig Porter, who Craig Porter could be a little bit interesting.
Dude, Craig Porter balled. I think it was last night. I think he had like 14 or 15 or something like that, and was a great look that probably gets him like 3 or 4 to 1. I don't want to have to guess. I just know Sam Merrill, like he's had 4 games now. Who was missing in these games? 4 games with this amount of minutes. Garland out, Hunter out, and Garland, Hunter and Garland. So now we've got Lonzo and Garland and everybody. So and even Jalen Tyson, who's worked his way into legit rotation minutes, right? When like a really good player off the bench was eating into Sam Merrill's stuff. He's out too. So I like all that stuff. You're out on anybody, Toronto?
So some interesting stuff, I guess, kind of came in. So Mamu Kavashvili is available to play, and low key, he's kind of been playing pretty good minutes. And there's no what's his name either, Murray Boyles. Yeah, so he's kind of gonna like have like the backup 5/4 because he can start the 4. Yeah, he's in.
Okay.
So he's someone a little bit interesting because the Cavs give up a ton of stuff to spot ups, and
my boy.
Yeah, and he's a big spot up guy. He also probably gets guarded by like a Jared Allen or just someone who wants to roam, like a big man, right? Who kind of wants to roam off by nature. So
but I think it does seem like maybe it matters then if it's Allen or Mobley. I don't want Mobley guarding him.
I don't yeah, I'm talking about for like the 3 standpoint though, right? I mean, just like Mobley's natural instinct is to like, if someone on a drive, he's gonna help and like leave Sandro. So yeah, I mean, I don't hate some Mamu stuff. He hasn't really been hitting his threes that much. Let's see, 1 for 3, 1 for 4. So he's not really going to be a high volume guy, but
right.
No Murray Boyles, I think, can open things up to an extent for him.
Yep, I think you're right. Yeah, there's definitely room to playing time now because Murray Boyles was coming in there. I mean, what's Pirtle playing 30? So I mean, there's probably at least 15, maybe like 20 minutes for Mamu in this one. Mamu Kalashvili. my boy. I don't mind that look either. I'm on kind of like a no Raptors diet here, man. I don't know what to do with them, so I just kind of stay away. But let me see before we are now just like going by game, but like I'm just gonna bring up a couple things. If you even want to look at it, let me know. This is gonna be, I know it's gonna be a lot of Raptor stuff because we covered a bunch of the Cavs, I imagine. But if anything stands out to you too, Ty, let me know. We can look at it. It's gonna be some Barnes stuff. It's gonna be Barnes, Ingram, quickly Barrett, right? Like, do you like anything for them or not? We could take a look at it, but like, I don't know if there's gonna be anything that really turns me on. So
okay, I'm not gonna lie, dude. I do like Barrett.
you might need some Barrett rehab, dude.
No, it's gross because I bet on him last game against the Nets, and he shot 6 for 21, 0 for 7 from deep, finished 7 points short. So that kind of sucks, especially against the Nets, right?
Yeah, might be due though.
Might be too. I do like Barrett. Barrett's like the spot up guy. Out of Barnes, out of Ingram's like he needs the ball in his hands to score.
Right.
Quickly, he's going to run a ton of pick and rolls, and they're going to be pretty high up there. Quickly actually had his worst game of the year by far against the Cavs. Yeah. I do think RJ is the guy, man. I think like if you're going to bet an over on the Raptors, I think it would probably be RJ.
It's just the number. This kind of goes into what I was saying earlier, which is like I agree with all of the like fodder. And I don't even mean that as a negative thing. I use the word fodder all the time to talk about like what I'm going to talk about in my videos and stuff, right? Like it's fodder. But once you look at the number for RJ, it's 19.5. And looking at the number, you just go, where's the edge, right? That's what we're doing here. Is we're not looking for who's going to have a good game. That's not what this is, right? It's like, are they going to do this good? And at 20 points, there's nothing that I have specific. Like, I agree with everything you're saying. I don't think anything's wrong. I'm not even trashing it. I'm merely saying like, you seem so hesitant to play it for a reason. And I know that reason is 19.5 points is just the number that he's expected to get, right? Like, there's no 2 extra points here or there that we could find to add to his projection that tells us we like it, right? So,
well, if you click off FanDuel Prop Builder, Bet Online, which is like honestly my favorite book, probably. Sadly enough,
yeah.
They're holding the 18.5. So like, I guess I'm looking at like the 18.5. I think is a big difference from 19.5. I mean, it's really not, but like
mentally it is. Mentally it is.
Like you see like 18.5, it's like, oh, he has to score 20. Oh, he does. Yeah. He can go over without scoring 20. And
if you get 18.5 and then you're just like, well, if I get plus 130 for 20, then I'll just take that, right?
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
And then
but I don't have it with him either.
Yeah. 18.5 though, I think is pretty good, man. Like, I mean, outside of like that like brutal shooting performance, I will say RJ probably is kind of a regression candidate, to be honest. I think if you just like click on his field goal percentage, he is shooting 53%. Let's be real. RJ Barrett's probably like a 47, 48%
46, 47 started to creep into my mind. Yeah, 53% is pretty high for someone that probably has not done that consistently. 47, look at that. That's what he's done. Like just this is the last like 24 games. Like, I think this is just a number that is too high for him, 49%. But all right, let me just see if there's anything else. I'm honestly not going to be able to like get into much here. I see all the comments, so I appreciate it, and I really like this like scrolling thing, so I don't feel this pressure to just like start bringing stuff up. Jesus Christ, the bitch ass parlay is Brandon Ingram, RJ, and Buck Teeth. Oh, that's gotta be Scotty Barnes. All right, I'll leave that one alone for 15 points each. That is bitchy. Nah, I'm not gonna do that. I'm gonna keep rolling though for a minute and go down. I think that's what I'm gonna do is just go down for a minute to this other sick ass game tonight. Also, last night I put out a video for Thursday Night Football and opened it by saying like, we got a good one here between the Patriots and the Jets with a giant smile on my face, and my comments are just riddled with, "Did you say a good one? Do you even know anything about football?" I'm like, come on, man.
Hey, good for props. I think it could be interesting for props. Just like a little, like I have like actually Bet365 posted like a 200-1 of like Fields to get 200 passing yards, right? His line's kind of baked in. Like I know we're talking about basketball, right? But Fields' line is completely baked in for like, he could get benched, and like, of course he can. So like you're taking him to get 200, which like, the Patriots run defense is great. They're probably going to be up a million.
Yeah,
it is terrifying, man. But then you pair it with like AD Mitchell, who's like, a lot of uncertainty around his new role, a lot of uncertainty around him as a talent, but people think he's okay. And so I have him to get 50 yards too, and then him to score a touchdown and like the Fields 200, and it's 200-1. So I'll be sweating that out. Yeah.
Honestly, you should just be getting 200 to 1 for Fields to get 200 yards. Like, what?
Yeah. 200
No,
for
but
the
I mean, dude, that's like you said, like, look, I mean, you're gonna get something like that if they're gonna give you that kind of odds. Then, like, yeah, if you put that into like an EV calculator, probably gonna like that. So, anyway, the Pacers and Suns, might as well just go down the line here because it's not like there's one. Although people are gonna bet on the Hawks too. But we'll just start here. If there's not much, we don't have to like spend too much time. I'm gonna see if anybody has it in the comments. Is there anything you would want to start with, even to just talk about, even if you don't have it as a play?
So I think Devin Booker is pretty interesting. He's at 28.5. He's kind of been lined around there recently. His close has been pretty consistent, but I think that he's kind of had like a tough draw recently. Like he's played the Clippers a lot, and the Clippers are pretty aggressive on him. There's also been like some fluky games, like they won by 23 against the Pelicans, where like Grayson Allen had like 40 points or some shit. Yeah. And then against the Mavs, which is like the Mavs are a pretty similar like stylistically defense to Indiana, where they definitely like key in more so on like the staying home on shooters and the kind of funneling stuff and letting the high usage guys cook. So I kind of lean over on Booker at 28.5. I think that he's in for like a pretty safe game. It's a 4.5 point spread. I guess the Pacers have been brutal, but
no Jalen Green helps. And like you said, there's reasons that he hasn't gone off against bad teams after the Clips. By the way, I think the Mavs are like 6th in defensive rating. So we can't just call that just because they're horrible on offense doesn't mean that we can just say that they're bad on defense. They're actually good at that. They're just that bad on offense that they're not going to win ever. So yeah, for Book, when you get to 20, like I've been waiting for it at like 26.5. This is just going back to me. I got shellacked yesterday and I'm not where I want to be at to start the NBA season. So I'm not playing as many things that might be based on good matchup, even good spot, right? Like if this was down at 26.5 points, and this is what we mean by the books being sharp. Book goes 24, 24, 19, 26. In years past, the books are going to pay enough attention, or there's not enough people paying enough attention to move Booker's line up to 28.5 4 games later when he hasn't touched that number in 4 games. Now it's sitting at 28.5 and he hasn't done that at all. It's just his season number. It's even a little bit higher. So it's like, that's where I'm just out because I've been so bad at picking the spot or finding the matchup or whatever that I have to play the number way more. So that's my only thing. And again, not even trashing anybody else because you've been playing bets like this. Like the Nembhard bet was something I said that to the other night. I was like, I can't play Nembhard at this number. And you're like, well, I am. And then he went over on the freaking points alone. You know what I mean? So I just want to be clear. Like I'm coming from where I have to be right now because I'm scared and I can't be betting scared. So
betting scared's like the worst, honestly, dude. It's like, and it like I'm kind of feeling that way today, and it's like, well, like just I mean, we have a massive slate tomorrow, so obviously volume will go up, but like betting scared's the worst, man. Like if you put a lot of time into this stuff, like you understand like schemes and matchups and stuff. You clearly have like if you know that stuff, you have some sort of edge. So let's
stick with it.
We're thinking,
I'm not losing. I'm not going to abandon the process. That's for sure. So yeah, no, I appreciate it. I'm going to pull up a couple of things. Do you have any thoughts on Brooks points? Cody's talking about that because I was talking about it the other day. He did clear, like he was at 15.5 when he came back, 16.5, I think in this game too. So it's still 16.5. The reason that I just like him is he's always taking at least like 13, 14, 18. He's just gonna be taking shots, right? When he plays full minutes. So he has the green light, but 16.5 is it's up a bit. I don't know if I like it as much. Do you have any thoughts on Dillon Brooks?
Yeah, I really don't have any thoughts on Dillon. Like his volume definitely has been very, very good, but also I like to play Dillon in matchups where I know like Booker's going to see like ridiculous, like a team's just going to be like, okay, Devin, like we're doing everything we can to get the ball to your hands, and that's when I like to play Dillon because those are the games where he will have like 20 shots and stuff. I'm not sure that's going to be
that's a good call. A spot. I'm assuming he's still scoring off the spot up. Yeah, like 50% of his points are off the spot up. So that just sort of validates what you said. And the second that he puts the ball on the floor, the rest of his team is like, no, just pass it. We do not want you dribbling towards the rim, please. This is not that matchup, right? With the Carlisle defense, it's interesting. They're 19th against spot ups. They're just struggling. They just don't have their guys. But Carlisle is still going to be taking that away. They started last year bad against the spot up. And then I did want to bring this up too, just because I've been talking about it too. Daft is just on load management. I know that you guys see him in the comments. He'll be back up on YouTube in a couple of days, whatever load management means. Suck up and play, but no, I'm just kidding. He's dealing with it. Whatever. I don't even. It's the YouTube shit. It sucks. But Ryan Dunn is someone that Maddie wants to talk about. Matthew Steven, big time contributor in the VIP Discord there. Talking about Ryan Dunn. I never know what to do with Ryan Dunn. 8.8 points sounds about right. Is there any reason that you have for him as a candidate here?
So I'm looking at this stuff right now, and I think that maybe he could like slightly benefit from no Mark Williams. Maybe like you add like a minute to his projection, but with Brooks, without Green, he's been around 25, 17, 23, 24, and 24 minutes. So he's probably around like that like 18 to 25 range tonight, I would think. And I don't know. I'm trying to like get a filter going so I can see this stuff. He's for this year, he's 4 to 6 with that range. And last year he was 11 out of 24.
Yeah. The minutes range.
Yep.
Yeah.
I think
it's a good starting point for Ryan Dunn is like his minutes are tied to like Villain Brooks, right? All these 25, 31, 27, 31, 28 minute games are without Dylan Brooks. It's 17 minutes in overtime, right? And then when Brooks comes back to 20, 24 with Brooks and 24. So I think like 24 does feel like a ceiling. Maybe you bump him up, like you said. I think you keep him at 24 because Mark Williams isn't out, but I don't know if I have any reason to think he's going to have a bump up. So, but 7.5 is low for when Dylan Brooks has not been playing. He's going to get the bump in minutes because if you give him a floor of 26 for this season, now he's looking pretty good, right? Even if let's say it is 24, so let's give him 22 to 26. Not much of an edge. Still says 7.6 because that Pelly's game drags him down. I guess 9 shots, 3 shots, 7, 8. So if he's taking like 8 shots in this situation, he's got to go 4 of 8 unless he does make one of his threes. Not a bad look. I can see their reason to take it. Like I would not argue against it. I'll say that.
Yep. I'll look at something real quick. Like so, Dunn's like if you see a team allowing like obviously Dunn's going to be camped in the corner, right, for the most part. So if you just see like a team that like is like allowing a lot of corner threes, like that just means that they're when you allow corner threes, that means that you're like packing the paint on the roll, you're over helping and stuff to an extent. So I guess I'm checking real quick to see where they rank against where the Pacers rank for corner threes attempted.
They're bad. I mean, they're 25th in this corner and 12th in that one, so they're probably like bottom half of the league.
Okay, let me quick check that.
So. Because they are a bad paint defense. That'll happen when you don't have a center.
Yeah. Indy in attempts allowed though is like bottom 7. They're 7th fewest. So
yeah.
Transition.
I like that thought though.
Yeah.
And that is something that we were thinking too. Like is like who's getting rebounds against this team because the Pacers are not a great rebounding team. But with Mark Will out, it's like there's no real good rebounders. You got Iguodala already, so right. Yeah,
and to be honest, he's not a good rebounder. Like,
it's just a low number.
I just think like when I saw 3.5, I'm like, dude, he's probably gonna play like 20 to 25 minutes, like center against the Pacers. I'm taking it.
Would you touch Nembhard PA again?
I actually would, man. I would. I don't think so. Yes, like the pick and roll handler stuff doesn't look great. At the same time, man, it's like it's Andrew Nembhard, right? This stuff's like case by case. Like I'm sure, like
right.
You play drop coverage against Nembhard. You don't really. He's not gonna kill you from like shooting and stuff. So I think that Nembhard still because Nembhard's kind of gotten unlucky, man. Like in this first game, he shoots 7 for 20, has 33 minutes. They lose by 17. Probably had a couple minutes extra in the chamber. Next 5 for 16, they get killed by 30, and then they lose by margin again. And he played really good against the Jazz. But I think that like genuinely, man, I think this might sound crazy. I think that Nembhard, like in this current role, like is pretty close to like if you give him 36 minutes, I think like he's gonna put up like 19 and 8, 19 and 9. Like he's a good player.
He could because of volume alone. I don't know how many wins his team is going to get in that situation if he's your best option, which is where the Pacers find themselves, which is why he has the green light, which is why threes even intrigue me because he's at 6, 9, 10 attempts in his 3 games back. So is that like 7, 8 attempts per game to hit 2, even juiced? It was like, I don't consider it honestly because it's so like there's no one else doing it. Jarris Walker's faded by the wayside. Nembhard's dominating touches. So I could see it. I'm not going to tell you when to go under for Nembhard. I don't know who. I imagine Brooks guards Siakam. That was kind of my thought process, but I really don't know. I'm just kind of guessing at this point. Let's get to this game here real quick. The Hawks and the Jazz, because I at least want to hit that. And I know we want to talk about our boy Collier. And I was just going to, Nembhard was the other one. Okay. And then, Siakam PR under. Sorry, before I just get away from it, that was the other one that at least intrigued me. I just, again, like, I don't know why. Is it just because it's a high number? You know, like this defense, isn't it like they're good, I guess, at limiting isolation. If Brooks is on him, could be a good look. I don't have much for that. I would need a bit more of an edge. So, all right, now that we're getting into this last game, what's up? My bad.
Brooks for sure is going to guard him. And I actually saw someone say Brooks 3.5 rebounds. And to be honest, like Pascal Siakam, if you're guarding Pascal Siakam, you're positioned pretty well to the rim. You know,
you should be.
I don't actually hate that rebound look, to be honest. And like I said, Oso, I am on his over rebounds, but the dude is not a good rebounder. Compared to like Mark Williams, who, you know, is going to hog more rebounds, you could say.
Sure.
That's not going to be Oso.
That's a really good point. Yeah. Without Mark Williams, like there are some rebounds. I like the matchup. He's never been a big rebounder because he's always guarding the best player on the other team, right? He's guarding the guy who's shooting. So it kind of makes sense. But all right, I'm going to give this last game like 10 minutes so I can get these bets in for myself. But we've got, all right, let's take a quick look here. We got Markkanen under 25.5, 26.5, under in 2024 without Kessler last 3 years. For Markkanen, really?
That doesn't correlate at all. I wouldn't like look too much into that.
Thank you for giving your reasoning, though. Like, I really appreciate the understanding why you did what you did. So I don't have to like kind of go on a goose chase to see what you're seeing, which is cool. So like, let me just take a quick look. I would immediately think to agree though with Ty that like, I don't know why that would matter necessarily. Let's say without Kessler over the last like 3 years. So yeah, this is 24 games. This one was in 23. Okay, cool. So that adds up. This is so long ago. I just don't know what to do with it. Right. So.
And also like a lot of the games that because Kessler's been very healthy. A lot of the games that Kessler was missing back we're probably like end of the season. We're tanking like here's 25 minutes, Lori, so we don't get fined. Like, you know,
the Utah Jazz data from last year and the year before is going to be about as helpful as unhelpful as you could possibly imagine. I completely agree. So, why is this game 2 points? Like the Hawks are good. I got murdered because I just decided that I wasn't going to take a closer look at where the Hawks are good on defense. It's everywhere. It's like actually everywhere. If you look at where they're playing on the court here, like they're not giving up off screen or spot up sixth, yet they're also not giving like the pick and roll roller. The only way to score against this team is to get lower than the mid range. They're 5th limiting mid range, 11th limiting above the break, number 1 in this corner, and they're still like a top 12 defense in the paint because they're so and Jalen Johnson and Dyson Daniels are disgusting as the wing defenders that you have to go up against. So all over the court, they're just hawking you, and they're hawking the ball, and they're hawking the shooters. But if you are a big man who rolls to the rim, that could be where you would be able to score against this Hawks defense. That's how I've broken them down. So like, you know, I don't know if you wanted to take someone like a Lowry Markkanen, but somebody who was rolling off of like Keontae George and Isaiah Collier, I guess your boy might be a look. Like, is there anything that you'd like for Utah against Atlanta, or even vice versa? Even though I just won my tangent about Atlanta's defense.
So I'll say this about Utah. I remember you were talking about the spread at first. So Utah Jazz has the 8th highest net rating at home. They have a 7.6 net rating at home, and then if we go to the road, and this has kind of been a trend for like a couple of years now. They do have a little bit of an altitude advantage. I also think that like teams just probably, you know, it's a back-to-back. The teams aren't getting up to play in Utah. You know what I'm saying? Like it's going to be tough to like find their energy. I agree with the spread. Actually, I think we get a very, very competitive game.
Really?
I do. Yeah.
Maybe I'm too short sighted because I just started really believing in the Hawks even more since yesterday. And now I'm like, is it all fool's gold? But you think it's because being back at home, even though they're on the back-to-back too, right? Isn't Utah or
no? Utah's not.
No, they're not. Just
no, yeah, they're not. I didn't sweat out that Nurkic bet yesterday. That was the other
right.
Right. No, but I will say, so definitely like Nurkic. Look, this dude stinks. And also, I know we're like looking at like pick and roll handler stuff. I watched that Nemhard bet, guys. Nurkic plays a super deep drop coverage. He cannot move to save his life. I mean, honestly, just spamming pick and rolls against the Jazz with Nurkic is going to be very, very profitable. So,
yeah,
Nickeil is kind of actually interesting to me, man. Like seeing him at 17.5 is like as Nickeil.
Yeah.
But with that being said, I do like it.
Wow.
And 3.5 assists too. Like 3.5 assists for like as much as he has the ball in his hand, like against Utah. I think that him and Onyeka are gonna have a good game.
Him and Onyeka.
Mm-hmm.
And they're you think because Nickeil is going to be rolling off of setting screens for guys.
I think he'll be the handler. He's 24% of his points this year are as the handler, and I'm sure, and like he started the year off with Trae Young, right? So that's obviously going to be a little bit higher than that.
Interesting.
Because Dyson Daniels, he's goofy, man. He's like afraid to shoot. That's like why he has so many assists and stuff.
Yeah.
But his assists too, man. His assists too. I don't hate it.
Yeah. I didn't play this yesterday. I wanted to play both their assists, Jalen and him, and just overthought it. I don't want to get into it. But yeah, this still looks good for this one. For all those wondering, I do love Isaiah. Yeah. I already hit this. I'm now getting a little bit stressed out that I haven't given these picks to the VIP, so I got to send them out. So I think I'm about to go do that. Let's wrap up here. I know it's a little bit earlier, but I definitely need to get those down. I not had the chance to since I wanted to. So, but before we get anywhere else, do you have anything else you even like in this game that you think is worth talking about? Because I do like Collier, and because people are on the stream, I do like Ace Bailey. I think the points are still good for him, and I think the assists are still good for Isaiah. And I've been talking about those two guys for a little bit now.
So this, like I said, this line might seem high, but like I said, I really think Onyeka is going to have a field day. Like, and even if you guys like to dabble in the first quarter markets and stuff, I know we don't have them up for a ton of books yet, but if you guys like use Underdog, they have 3.5 first quarter points for Onyeka, which he's over in 8 out of 12 games despite coming off the damn bench. That's crazy. So, and that guarantees that, the first quarter stuff, I know there's a lot of variance and stuff with that, but I mean, that guarantees the Nurkic matchup, right? Like you never know, like I'm not saying the other, like, okay, it's going to be Nurkic and Kevin Love. So actually, the more I think about it, like I really like Okongwu, man. Like I said,
20 and 20
might be high.
20,
like, seriously, like there's no reason for him not to get 20 this game. Like he's a good scorer. He doesn't have to share the floor with Kristaps at all, which is more natural for him as a scorer. So
without Kristaps, there's been 3 games, but yeah, I'm not opposed to it. Like this is high for a reason, and it's because take bigs against the Jazz without Walker Kessler. Like they went from a top 5 rim defensive team to a bottom 5 paint defense in the league. Right, like you've got to attack that. I totally agree with Onyeka. Like there's no reason not to, even though the numbers are high for sure. But like if you're getting plus money for a double for him, I'll still take that. Even though he's not the best rebounder in the world, he's still good enough in this matchup. So I like that for sure. It looks like Jalen's good, so everybody's in then. Yeah, even though they played yesterday. One guy too, I was kind of trashing Mo Gay here and there. He improved so much, dude. Like, and I wasn't trashing Mo Gay. I was trashing that like Mo Gay had these lines that were coming up for him that were like, what? Mo Gay's not getting this number with or without Kristaps or whatever. And I was like, oh, wait, okay, he's shooting threes from the corner now? Okay, my bad. I didn't know you had that bag, Mo. Like, good for you. So, yeah, now I'm back in. I think he's got some high projections because he's got some really big jump in usage and minutes with KP out 30 minutes, 23 and 34. I think there was probably a couple of guys. Yeah, Jalen Johnson was missing in 2 of those as well. But even the one without KP over here against Orlando, big minutes against a team and big, like he doesn't even need that much to do well against this awful front line, right? For the Jazz. So that'll be one more guy I'm looking at. Might be getting a bet on him, but I need to go put those down. So, all right, dude, appreciate the time. Make sure you guys are following Ty. What the name of the channel on YouTube is?
Yep. Channel YouTube stuff is going to be straight betting. Honestly, my content's pretty similar to Josh's and land your bets. So like I said, I always say this with people who come on my stream. If you like Josh's content, you'll probably like mine too. Hopefully.
Hell yeah. I mean, YouTube's probably telling people that in the algorithm. So yeah, you might as well just say too. No, I agree, dude. I appreciate your looks. Like it's I don't think there are that many people who have like actually interesting information about the NBA to share. So I appreciate that you know where to look and then you share it the right way, dude. So I think it's really, really cool. And I already told you, like, I think you're at like 1.5 or 6 or 7,000 people on YouTube after the amount of videos you have. Like you are on like the same trajectory as people like me and Daft when watching us grow at the same rate. So just keep it going, man. It's good stuff, but definitely make sure you check them out. And then you do have your nice loyal following on Twitter, right?
Yep. I've been like a Twitter head for like, the past like 5 years. Tyven SB is going to be my name there. I post like these threads, man, every single day. I don't know if you can see them. I've kind of been like yapping. I was talking OKC a little bit too.
Popping off.
Yep.
Here you go.
But I post these like funnel threads that like, show you like teams that don't allow a lot of pull-up jumpers, teams that allow a lot of catch and shoot, teams that don't allow stuff at the rim. So I think that stuff's decently valuable. So I used to be a crappy follow on X, and now I'm a good follow, I'd say.
This is what I would be doing with my Twitter page if I like took the time to like really put into it, and I'm still playing on it at some point. But this is the best way to use it, is like just help us each day with important information in a bite-sized form, and we'll be good to go. Yep. So
just filter out the really good and the really bad matchups, so you don't gotta like spend time like juggling the 15th best spot up defense and stuff like that.
Which does not help. Yeah, for sure. So, all right, cool, man. Appreciate it. We will, I'll be back here with an episode tonight for tomorrow's slate, which will be a lot better. And we will be, did you? I think you did. Yeah. Free Sauce, but he knows everybody. Free Sauce was telling me about you a little while ago. And so I definitely knew about you when you reached out. But anyway, good stuff, man. We'll, like I said, I'll have that episode up tonight. I know Ty's putting stuff out either night before or day of, often too, with some looks for that night. So check him out and all that. And then I'll be back, like I said, with that and NFL for the weekend. So till we see y'all next, happy betting.